Hello everyone, it's Mark. Have you eaten? Today, they dropped Preludes 13. It was a surprise drop. Did not expect it, so I basically jumped in, updated the game, and started playing. I haven't. This is now my chance to go through the patch notes to kind of get like a better understanding of how the update works, right? So, changes to major virtue system. This is the biggest one. The virtue system is completely different now. There's no more manual points. We'll get into that later. Everyone gets some honors and 100 arcs, plats, if you're not familiar with this term, or paid currency. That's cool. Everyone gets nice things. Virtue rework, of course. This is the big thing. We kind of went over this in the dev stream. So essentially, it's just you get these prisms now. It's like a set. Yeah, we'll explain it. Like no longer granted through manual point distribution. Instead, you get them based on what prism you equip. So this would affect the ratio. You can kind of see the GIF here. And this one gives, this is more split between these the points, right? And this one is more extreme. There's extremes and there's more splits. We can talk about it later. Basically, no more manual point distribution. Make sure you guys equip these. I think they give you have one equipped by default, but make sure you guys pick the one you guys like, because your playstyle will definitely be changed based on what you have equipped. So there's 12 new ones. Starter. Basically, these are like the more basic ones. They kind of like slight focus towards one virtue. Warrior Mora, this is the Courage one. Iridus Shaman, I believe this is the Spirit one, and then this is the Grace one. And there's hybrids. Spirit and Grace. So this would be your stealth mage. I guess you're sneaking around doing magic. You have higher cooldowns, stuff like that. Courage and Spirit. This is your classic magic knight. Your melee mages. I think this is your kind of go-to if you want to go for that kind of playstyle. And then the assassin, which is, I would say this is like a duelist. This is probably like something would be like, you're not the most tankiest guy, but you can move around and your finishers would do a lot of things. They changed the virtues now affect stats, and then there's the extreme ones. Strong focus towards one, and then significant. I don't know, and this is from the founders pack, so you can only get these three if you supported them through the founders. I don't know if strong focus or significant focus is I actually have not. I grabbed, I think, Mora's Beast and then Sapphire Shadow, but I haven't seen which one gives you more extreme stat distributions. So these are how you get them. The starter ones, you get them based on which one you picked. And then you can buy the other two. So this is, it doesn't matter which faction you pick first. You can get the other two. So don't worry about getting locked out between this. The extreme ones, the other ones, sorry, not extreme ones. The other ones you buy straight up for one standing. This is the this is your normal. You just rank up the. I believe you can get these ones from any. Yeah. Oh no, Virtue Aligned Enclave. So if you guys don't know, the Courage one is Kit the King. Stay focused on Courage. They're the knights, all that stuff. Alka's Children is the Spirit. They're mages, all that stuff. And then the Silent Rose is the Grace one. So you get your extremes and hybrids from them. That's cool. Yeah, and then the virtues. I'm gonna call these stats, like attributes. Just a little bit more. I'll call them virtues, but if I call them attributes, stats, just know that I'm referring to the same thing. They now give you different like bonuses. It's like Grace gives you stronger lethality motion. So this means that when you do finishers or sneak attacks, they do more damage. I think back then they used to one shot, and if they didn't one shot, they did extreme damage, like insanely high damage, for like bosses and stuff like that. This is no longer the case. I've tested around with this. Your backstabs are not that good anymore unless you put points in the Grace. I think if you have a higher focus on this, they kind of go back to being the what we're used to, where you can backstab somebody and they're just gone from the fight. So if you're no longer focusing on Grace, just expect your finishers and your sneak attacks to be a lot weaker. So this is technically a nerf, but this is their focus now. This is their domain. You want to break their guards and just go for finishers or sneak attacks. You know, if you like stealth, this is your thing. Spirit, I haven't really played around with it, but it looks like they reduce the cooldown of your spells. So if you like spamming abilities, this is your go-to. This is your mage class. Yeah, so this is their domain. It doesn't improve damage or anything. It just straight up cooldowns. The Pact tree no longer has the Arcanics, the one that reduces cooldowns of your spells. That's no longer there. So none of the packs have that anymore. So if you want reduced cooldown, this is you have to build Spirit. Courage is very simple. You just get more HP. This sounds bad, but I'll explain later. But this is your warrior, your tanks. So if you like being unkillable, this is your you go this. Now the reason why this one feels a lot less weaker than Spirit and Grace, like it's like, oh, I don't care about life. Life is not that important. Your armors are I'll go more into detail, but Courage has the best armors in the game. So hands down, they will have the best armor, so that's their domain. This is why the Courage bonus is not as good as the other two, in my opinion, but it's still a good stat. And then all virtue now contribute to lifestealing, with Courage providing significantly higher survival gains. Yep, this is very true. I was checking around with the prisms, and the one I have equipped now gives me like 330 some HP, and then the other one is 250, 200. I think one was like 197. It's like significantly higher HP. Equipment has been standardized on virtue requirements and attunements. So you're kind of funneled into certain weapons based on your stats. You can check out, like, there's like, okay, so it says Grip Ties now has standardized virtue attunements and requirements. So Spear is attuned to magic weapons. Courage is for large weapon, long swords, great sword, polearm shields, and Grace is to small ones, right? Bows, fly blades, short blades, right? A majority weapon, however, has split scan capabilities using both their primary virtue requirement and additional virtue attunement to determine damage. This is not entirely true, because there's like a longsword, I think it's Dwellian. I don't believe it has any courage scaling. It's straight up just Grace. It's straight up just Grace. So there are weapons that will break the rules, if that makes any sense. That's kind of, it's cool. I like that, because it's like, hey, courage, you know, your weapons are going to be longswords, right? But there's one that if you want to be a Grace and you like, I don't really like short blades, I don't really like fly blades, I don't like bows. Oh, here's a longsword for me. This is very minor points, but I hope they add a vanity soon, because it's like, maybe I like the design of, you know, the Paragon sword, but I don't like how it's, actually, this is a bad example. Let's just say I like this design, this shield, sword and shield here, right? But it's a Grace weapon, or like a courage weapon. It's like, but I'm not a courage player, so it's like, I'm kind of funneled to using this, but I don't like the design of this. Then like, oh, I want this design, but I want to use the stats of this weapon. I hope so. That's kind of small things, but I think they said they were going to do stuff like that. But irregardless, that's something to keep in mind. Armor, standardized virtue requirements to unlock effectiveness, and then they scale harder based on attunement. So if you look at this picture here, it requires you to have 15. I believe this is Grace. Is it Grace? No, Spirit. I believe it's a Spirit, actually. In any case, it requires this stat, right? And then that's how, and they'll have, if you don't meet it, it'll have pathetic stats. The base stats will be very, very bad. And then as you put more points into Grace and Spirit, you'll get these bonuses here. So it'll have base 9, 8, and 9 of physical, magic, and stability once you hit the requirement, and then you get bonuses +6, +5, +6 based on your stats. So Spirit is light armor, so they have the worst armors in the game. Fair. Magic weapons are the strongest. I don't know if they've been nerfed or anything. That's their downside for their power. Courage has heavy. These are the best armors in the game. Like, I was testing it, and you do not take damage. Like, I mean, like, magic is kind of your bane, because I was using Bromius' set, and you will actually take heavy damage from magic. So you just you are the tankiest guy on the team or your playstyle, but you're still kind of vulnerable to certain things. So just be aware of that. And then Grace is your medium armor, so these are your leather armor, that type of stuff. In between. And then like weapons, some armors with semi split scale with 2 different virtue attunements. Yep. So this means that you can have hybrid builds and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to explain. You kind of have to kind of get playing around and feel for it. But yeah, this is the new big change. Rebalance stats, increase virtue attunement damage cap on uncommon rare weapons. I believe they're stronger, yes. Across the board, most weapons are stronger now. Stability is more impactful. This is a great change. Envoys take less stagger damage when blocking. I believe the base stability is also higher too, so you're not actually getting knocked down all that often anymore. I haven't gotten knocked down once in when I was playing it a little bit. Envoys will now flinch from attacks that would have staggered them previously. That's great. So you don't. The flow of combat was really, really easily interrupted. It's how do I explain this? It's a lot better now. When I play, I don't feel so conscious about these kind of things. I really like these changes. Equipment that does not meet its virtue requirement will not grant its bonus stats. No penalties will be applied. I don't know how true that is because for the armors, the base number seems to be lower if you don't meet the requirement. So I don't know if you would consider that a punishment, but you just be like, hey, this is not your armor. I will say maybe have courage to be able to equip these ones. Like maybe you if you want to wear this leather armor, at least I have to like test it out. I don't know if the virtue requirements are nerfing your armors or not. It says it doesn't, but I don't know. I have to kind of double check that. Enemies will now do increased magic damage to better support magic focused defenses. Yes, this is very true. Even with the strongest armor in the game, when I was taking like pretty much like a lot less damage from physicals, I was losing half my HP from magic attacks. Like the regular enemies can now enchant their weapons with elements. So like the regular standard cures, they can put lightning on their swords, and you take one hit from that, and it's oh my god, you're panicking. It's nice. The Koga Arcana cooldown debuff has been adjusted to scale with updated spirit virtue effects. They don't have numbers, so I don't know to what extent this is how strong of a change this is. When an envoy meets the virtue requirement of any gear piece, it will display its corresponding virtue icon in the top left corner of the equipment place when preview in the compendium to better signify the bonus in stats granted. Oh yeah, because basically what it's saying is these icons here, it will show you like, hey, this is a spirit weapon, this is a grace weapon, this is a courage weapon, right? Blessed journeys will now no longer reattune weapons. Instead, blessed journey will now increase the virtue scaling of a weapon by adding an additional virtue to the attunement line viewable in the saddle weapon. Basically, what it's saying is, like, if we take this picture, Marrow's Bane is all courage, right? And if you put the courage joinery on this, it will add 1 extra attunement. So let's say it was a base 4 attunement. I'm covering this, right? It was a base 4 courage. If you add the joinery onto it, it will now add 5. That's how it works. And then if you put a grace one, it would be 4 courage, and then it would be a grace one right here. Like grace symbol will show up here. So that means if you have a little bit points of grace, it will scale this too. It's good. In effect, it kind of weird. You can't force your weapons into a certain role anymore. So if you really like Marrow's Bane, I think you're still gonna have to go courage. It's just kind of the if you don't go courage, there will be a better weapon of long blade for you. If that makes any sense. Like the welding might be better for you. Like you might love Marrow's Bane, but it's just kind of hard to use it if you're not going courage. I'm gonna have to do more testing on this, but yeah, we'll that's just how joiners work now. Pact changes. So basically the way it works is the pact tree is now all changed. There's no longer the Arcanics one. Akin is replaced with healer. So you can no longer have faster cooldown on your. It's not like a innate thing. Like I don't know if you guys know, but like it'd be like the 2 passives, and then the it'd be like, hey, your spells will have reduced cooldown. That's no longer there. You don't have the reduced cooldown. You now have a healer. you just recover life more efficiently. So I think that means that if you heal with potions, the healing's better. If you have temporary HP loss and you attack, that's better now. This is the new thing. You only get cooldown reductions from Spirit now, so keep that in mind. Every bound has been removed. Life scan is now provided through Virtue. Yep. And then the Virtue nodes in the Pact skill tree now can be upgraded independently of instead of in sequence. Basically, it used to be, I think it was like you had to go to like the Grace one first, and then you can purchase this Courage and then the Spirit one, which was really, really awkward because it's like I now have to spend 1 point in Grace that I do not want just to get to access to the Courage one and max that out, right? It's just 3 different split trees. This is a very good change. It saves you 1 point essentially in every build. Assuming you're not going the first one. I believe it was Grace. So this is a good change. Yeah, so also they resetted all the Pact trees. So if you have one equipped and you just jump in, make sure you guys go to your Nightfold and reapply all the points because you're gonna be weak otherwise. Good luck. Tetherin believe it got buff called the Ancients. That's the first spell. The base duration is just it lasts longer now. It's just a good change. Clash reduce base cooldown, reduce casting time, and then remove enemy from being feared from casting. So these are changes to Tetherin. After it got nerfed, I think it was significantly weaker, so these are good changes now. Erangel's Howl, it now scales off Grace, or adds Grace to Envoy rather than Courage. Yeah, it'll give you Grace now instead of Courage, and then no longer multiplies the Virtue upon cast. Smite chance is now a stacking multiplier, and the base Smite chance has been reduced. I think overall this is a nerf. The whole point of Howl was for Smite chance. I haven't played around with it, so, and I don't know the numbers, but Howl is really strong because you could just be smiting everyone all day or night. If you guys play around this, just keep these in mind. Votives, essentially, you go to trees and then talk to them, and then they'll give you the quests, the 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars, right? There you go. And then you can do the other events, the Oregon, and then like sieges and stuff. Keep these in mind. I don't believe you can talk to the faction people anymore. They don't appear on the map. You have to go to trees. I thought it would be both of them, but that's not the case. You just have to go to a tree and just ask for quests. I think it's a lot better change because you don't have to wait for a random chance. This is essentially what it all says. And then you can pick your tier, so you don't have to this is a 1 star quest. Like you'll still do it, but it's like I want a 3 star quest. And now you can always just pick a 3 star quest. That's a good change. Oregon, new game mode. I haven't played it yet. I think the whole point is to just destroy the Oregon. We're gonna kind of go faster to this because it's just a new game mode, so just keep that in mind. And then there's a new boss. It's just a corrupted bear. It's basically Bromius, but in the overworld. So just keep that in mind. And then there's new mini quests. I actually did not hear about this. 3 new mini quests have been added to Midrath. Discover them by finding notes hidden throughout the world and follow their trail to uncover the stories they leave behind. This is part of our ongoing, which will bring more small, discoverable adventures to Alka. Yep, cool. Mistress of the Thread. Mysterious potion leads you to Sinkland Depths, where every vibration is a death knell and every shadow has 8 legs. This is implying spiders. Lightning in a vial. Is Nimrod? Maybe. Deadwood, a legion of Sonic Care loggers split Deadwood for days, not knowing that they cannot even the dead can seek revenge. This is probably implying Kabocha and like the corrupted tree people. I forgot what they're called. New customization. So if you talk to Verminia, you can change your hair, your face, and stuff like that. It's a good change. I think people have been asking this for a lot. Good. Camera and player physics changes. This is another big. I think this is the second biggest updates. So the camera is changed. You can kind of keep more enemies in your camera now. Essentially, FOV zooms out to better caching camera. Yep, there you go. That's the biggest one, and then the animations of especially melee ones, they feel a lot better to play now. Like it feels a lot faster. Even they said it does. It's not actually faster, but it feels better to play. I think you guys have to kind of test it out yourselves to kind of really feel it. But this is the game feels so much better with this change. It's actually amazing. And then the so sharper envoy moves to improve responsiveness, reduce stiffness and envoy movements. Yeah, smooth out lock-on mechanism to allow for more responsive target acquisition. This is kind of weird. Basically, wherever your character faces, I kind of think I talked about this, but wherever your character faces, that's kind of, and whoever he's kind of looking at, that's generally who he's going to attack. So keep that in mind. So if you're facing like on the left side and there's an enemy right here, your character will gravitate toward attacking him rather than this guy here. That's not where your camera is. I mean, it's a kind of a good thing, but yeah, just and when you're playing, just keep that in mind. Reduce target swapping while pressing your block input during combat. I actually don't block too much, so I didn't really notice this, but I guess that's there. Also, they didn't really mention this, but the sound effects sounds a lot better when you hit somebody. The impact sounds feels it hears like, I like the change essentially. It sounds, all the weapons sound better, the melee weapon especially. Yeah, so I don't know. Sound is very important for these kind of games because if it doesn't sound meaty, then it ruins the feel of the game. So try out yourselves. I'm sure you guys will have fun. There's new weapons. Sea Thorn. There's a magic staff. You get it from 3-star Fables. So grab this from your 3 stars. I haven't played with this. I haven't gotten this. Basker's Rest. This is the new magic weapon. You can get it from Kid the King, which is where I got it from. I'm crafting it right now. Or you can do the quests for them. I think they drop from there. I just bought it straight out because I had the points. So yeah, this is the fire magic. This is a new one. And then this one, dual swords, Clivers. This is the one I'm kind of I want to get this. This is probably my first thing that I'm gonna do. So you get these from the Organ or the Spiders. The Reaper is, I believe, the underground version of Ethelred. So if you guys don't know what that is, it's I think near the northwest. There's the spider boss, so you can fight her off for. So I'm gonna be farming those guys for a bit. These look so cool. And then new armor, wizard sets, new magic set. If you guys like this look, this is yours. Poetry, whatever. New title screen. Yeah, those are Mythaltide, Maestro, and the bow and the knife that you get from the thing. They're now dropped from Bannerest, Kabocha, and the Metacanth King. And everything else, the armors and stuff, they're gone. You can't get them anymore, at least until this comes back. Wastebearer Fable can be replayed. Other changes. These are whatever. And then a bunch of changes. Added new tails, improved existing one, and objectives, spawning, and overall reliability. I've only played like a few of the new tails, and they were all the old stuff. So I'm sure there's new things to do. So check that out. 1-star tail, no longer play celebration animation about completion. Yeah, that's good because kind of ruins. And it doesn't ruin. It's just you just gotta sit there and watch it now. Chaos cannot be tracked to the journal. Sure. Amount of river pearls increased. Increased damage bonus given by Gildar journeys, which I think they were the worst one, the worst of the journeys, worst type of the two. So this is a good change. Stealth kills now ought to be alert enemies are extremely close by, so keep this in mind if you guys are doing stealth kills. If the guy is standing next to him, he will notice. Alert enemies are faster returned to their idle once they finish investigating, while enemies having just fought now take longer. Sure. Down envoys can now spectate live party members during a guard boss fight. Sure. Will take damage on heavy slams. Sure. Made Ode Red Balloons destructible. Sure. There's all the changes. You can start like reduce the effectiveness of the heavy Ode Mace enemy wind up knockdown. Oh yeah, so this is a nerf to the staggers and stuff. Reduce the rate at which unblockable attacks are used by enemies. This is very true. They don't really ham fist you with these things anymore. And they don't actually throw a lot of grenades anymore. I don't know if they mentioned this down here, but the grenade spam from the Odes are reduced to oblivion. It's so nice. You can kind of play in peace essentially. You can duel people. You don't have to worry about the guy behind them just chucking nades at you. Ode Shredders now inflict damage should you touch their grinding teeth. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna be straight honest. Reduce the amount of trap markers within. Oh, they reduces even more. It was essentially almost 0. Now they reduce it even more. Basically, trap markers is the ones that are they're chilling in the corner, and then if you walk past them, they'll jump at you and grab you, and you have to play the quick time event. I guess they reduced the amount of that. I guess people were complaining about the amount of that, or maybe they just decided it was annoying. Change spawn, increase kabochas, and similar corrupt to Sprout Proc chances to use different attacks, increase the cooldown of their bell knockback. Sure. Updated the Oridora and Torment Stag to deal magic damage. This is Lady Yora's fight. I haven't fought her in forever. Updated disability damage dealt by sure. Updated bow walking animation while aiming, sure. Longblade's attack animation have been reworked and updated. Essentially, they took out the thrusts of the last bit of the text chain. It's all slashes now. There's no thrust anymore. I guess it was kind of awkward to use. It's both a good bad thing. I think this is now essentially you're just slashing, but then if you have a point, it's like sometimes you do want to thrust, so then it's like you don't have that represented. It's just all slashes now, which is it's better for gameplay, but worse for immersion. I would say something like that. Remove the animation after defeating the Agari, so there's no celebration animation after you beat bosses now. Whatever. You can leave it, take it or leave it. Improve the tile animation of dungeons with Agari present. Sure. Whatever. Pattern changes. Whatever. Add a prompt to purchase additional weapon impact if Envoy has no longer. So you don't have to walk back to the camel and buy it. You can just buy it from if you have no space. Sure. Remove the packs from Alpha Gods as he's packing out acquirable from Zenith Swear. Sure. Sure. Rework melee hit audio sound impacts sounds correct or reflect the weapon used. Yeah, this is the big change. Sound effects is way better now. This is the change they're mentioning. This too. Rebalance melee weapon sound effects across all weapons sound more consistent even. I guess there's new sound effects for aiming with the bow in midair. New dialogue, new sound effects picking up weapons, slow down. Sure. Sounds can now only place enemies at the max of their alert state rather than possibly beginning combat. Oh, okay. So they basically, if you make noise, the enemies will not necessarily engage combat. They would just be alerted. So they basically they can't like Batman hear you from across the map. That's cool. Music now ducks, sure. And then there's a bunch of fixes. I'm not gonna go through all these, but it's both a big patch and not at the same time. There's actually not a lot of pure content, I guess you could say, that's being added. There's new weapons. There's one new armor. There's no new pact. There's one new game mode, and there's one new boss. So there's no actual quote unquote content update. This is more purely focused on this virtue change. I think everyone should play around with this and figure out what you like. This is gonna dictate how the game is gonna be played for I think years to come. So I would say get familiar with this. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys eat good food, stay fed, all that jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.